first of all, our team's laughter was actually because we found our honorable opposition's assumptions quite absurd. In fact, my teammate Adele was explaining things at a speed in which she expected our honorable opposition to understand. Evidently, she perhaps should have slowed that speed down so that our honorable opposition could actually understand. Our apology. Now, moving on to the rebuttals. First of all, our honorable opposition has talked about how people are procrastinators by nature and do not actually do anything about a problem until it actually exists. Well, problems in global warming are existing already. In fact, over the last 20 years, the United States has used an astonishing amount of $79 billion on global warming research. They have still not found an efficient way to solve the problems that we are continuing to face. Our honorable opposition talks about clean energy resources such as solar power. However, in a world where a majority of the population lives in apartments, especially seen in Shanghai, a city like Shanghai, these are hard to install as they require a lot of space. Furthermore, they are expensive to install in the first place, and therefore many people are reluctant to take part in this. There's a reason that many renewable resources still are far less popular than things like coal or oil or natural gas, simply because they are far less efficient and far more expensive to utilize. And humans, therefore, continue to prefer non-renewable resources, even though we know the harmful effects that they have on our environment. Our honorable opposition has assumed that as human advancement continues, as it always will, we will simply be willing to cast aside our easiest energy resource, which is non-renewable resources, such as coal, oil, or natural gas. This assumption, however, in fact is incorrect, as shown by how our population continues to use non-renewable resources despite the numerous articles and research that has proven their detrimental effect on our environment. History repeats itself. Human nature is human nature. Humans will try to find the most efficient and most cost-effective way to continue living. Now I'd like to move on to our points. First of all, as I stated before, everything in life is related to energy. And population increases also means increased resource and energy use. The global population is now at an unprecedented high of over 7 billion and only continues to increase over time. Resources are finite, especially the most efficient resources, as I said before, that humans prefer to use. These are all non-renewable resources. The reason human consumption of these resources is continuing despite the harmful effects is because non-renewable resources are far more efficient and far less cost. As population increases, more of these resources will be used today. In fact, a recent study shows that 19.64 quadrillion BTU of coal are used annually, 24.84 of natural gas, and 35.28 of petroleum. Quadrillion BTU, which stands for British Thermal Unit, which states the amount of heat needed to raise 1 pound of water at maximum density through 1 degree Fahrenheit, equivalent to 1.055 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3 joules. Coal in itself, almost 20 quadrillion British thermal units. Quadrillion. Furthermore, as technological advances continue, they require more and more energy to create. For example, things like hybrid cars are more expensive because they require more energy to manufacture, and they have rarer components which are also more costly and most importantly, energy and resource costly to extract. Furthermore, our honorable opposition appears to have forgotten that we are under a time constraint in this motion, which is that over the next 100 years, not limitless, but 100, over the next century, we will somehow have a more positive effect on the environment. The hybrid car was created over 200 years ago, and even today is not fully developed. Therefore, because of the reason that I provided above, I strongly conclude that humanity's impact on the environment over the next 100 years will not be more positive.